If it wasn't clear that the timeless Catholic values are hated by many, it is now. Over the past few days, my beliefs, or what people think I believe, have been the focus of countless discussions around the globe. At the outset, many people expressed a shocking level of hate, but as the days went on, even those who disagreed with my viewpoints shared their support for my freedom of religion. In my 7 years in the NFL, I've become familiar with the positive and negative comments, but the majority of them revolve around my performance on the field. But as to be expected, the more I've talked about what I value most, which is my Catholic faith, the more polarizing I have become. It's a decision I've consciously made and one I do not regret at all. If we have truth and charity, we should trust in the Lord's providence and let the Holy Ghost do the rest of the work.
So that's Harrison Butker. I don't even think, my only thing that I would say is that it's not like a Catholic thing. I think he's just talking about building blocks of a functional society, by the way. That's my only objection. Welcome back to the program. Dana Loesch here with you, bottom of the second hour. People are mad. That's Harrison Butker. That was the second, he spoke at some event, and people are still mad over him, including a woman who I do not believe this. I think she's 59. She don't look 49. This chick is 59 years old. Chelsea Handler. I don't know why. I can't say anything without being mean. Like, if you're a woman and you legitimately criticize other women, they accuse you of being like a mean girl and that you're not being like a team player, like as though you're supposed to be, just because you by nature of having the lady bit, which is so dumb. I just don't know why she's famous. She's not funny. She's not a critical thinker. What does she do? What the hell does she do? I don't know. But all I know is that she is not 49 years old. Unless 59 is the new 49, because that's not, there's no way. Girl, there is no way, for real. So anyway, the reason I bring this up is because she went off on Harrison Butker, and I just thought it was kind of sad. Audio soundbite 15, and just speaks for itself.
As you may have heard, there's a man by the name of Harrison Butker who's talking more than I typically like for a male. He's a kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I learned that kickers rarely get tackled. So based on his misogynistic rant during a recent commencement address, I'm guessing this Bible thumper thumped himself a little too hard with his Bible and gave himself CTE.
Some of you may go on to lead successful
She would know a little
careers
bit
in the
about
world,
being
but I
tackled,
would
wouldn't
venture
she?
to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
First of all, Harrison, you're a kicker, so you have one important part of your body, and it's not your brain.
I can tell you that my beautiful wife Isabel would be
Oh
the
my
first
gosh,
to say
she,
that
like,
her life
just,
truly
like,
started when she
spends
began
so
living
much
her
time on
vocation
this guy.
as a wife and as a mother. Isabel's dream of having a career might not have come true, but if you asked her today if she has any regrets on her decision, she would laugh out loud without hesitation and say, heck no.
Isabel, please blink twice if you need us to call for help. But the real kicker
Chelsea
is that
could,
Harrison
or
Butker's
would, but she
mother
can't
is
move
a
her face.
renowned physicist who has a degree in chemistry and a master's in medical physics. So, who paid for all those youth athletic team fees and uniform fees and equipment fees when Harrison was a kid so he could grow up to have a career making millions of dollars for kicking things? My guess is a working woman. Harrison, this is the first
He didn't
time
say
I've
that
heard
women
about you, and
couldn't
hopefully
work.
it will last. And after this, I'm going to go ahead and do what your fellow teammate does and just pretend like you don't exist.
Which is what most of the men do to her.
Man. I just let him do his thing. We sit right beside each other in team meeting, and I don't say one word to him.
Yeah, I mean, was she supposed to be funny? I mean, it just comes across as bitter, and it's like total misrepresentation. He like elevated women and was protecting them if they choose that choice. If they choose to do that, if they choose not to do that, women have the choice. But sadly, it's like these bitter harpies that don't really age like fine wine. They age like, Dale cheap ass whiskey. But it's those chicks that get all upset if women don't choose the choices that they would choose themselves. And they're the ones who get all enraged over it. I mean, it's just like, girl, like, what is your deal? Like, where do these bitter single childless broads get off going after a guy who's talking about his successful union, right? Again, it's like asking people who know nothing about these things to opine on these things. If you're not married with children, I don't give a rat's ass about your opinion on marriage or families. I don't. End of. And if you haven't been married as long as I have, as successfully as I have and raised successfully children as I have, I don't care about your opinion on families or children. Unless you're older than me, you've raised children longer than I have, and you've been married longer than I have. The audacity of how high these people get off of themselves. This is part of the influencer cancer. Influencer cancer is when people who think that the cameras on their phone elevate them to a certain level of authority, when reality is not so kind, like it hasn't been to Chelsea Handler. But I will say, that wasn't funny. Like, her whole thing wasn't funny. She just seemed angry and bitter and mad.
That's her thing.
And that's it. And notice that all these chicks that are on and on about this, they're angry and bitter and mad, which is probably why they're still single and childless. You know, I was going to say something wildly inappropriate, Kane. Wildly. But I refrained.